Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. My messages are about love, creation, infinity, because we're infinite love, we're infinite creators, we're infinite eternal creators. This is who we are. Why? Because of the human heartbeat. Without the human heartbeat, we wouldn't exist. The pulse of life, the pulse of creation, generates an electromagnetic field that powers us, gives us the energy, the electricity, the current required for the human body to operate and function, for the organs to work, the nervous system to operate so we can think, for our heart to operate so we can feel and act and be self-conscious, be self-aware, be conscious, be who we are, the human race. It's not a coincidence that the heartbeat, our creator, that makes us conscious and self-aware, is also the place where we feel, that makes us these loving creatures that we are. So it is in our heart, meaning we live to love, meaning we are benevolent species, benevolent race. We love, we live. This is who we are. We live to love. We live to love. And how do we live? How do we prove our free will if it's not through our actions? Because we are creators, just like the heartbeat that created us and gave us the ability to love. Then we can live to love. And what do we create? Our actions, loving actions, backing our actions with love. This is who we are, and this is who we'll always be, because we are infinite eternal creators. We're here to take action. The proof of free will is daily action here and now, backed with love. When we back our actions with love, we have the potential to infinitely change things forever. This is who we are, and this is what the way it's always been. The human race today is where it's at because of this very simple notion. Our actions, our ability to create, to love what we create. It's just the way it is and the way it would always be. This will never change. Our heartbeat determines so. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might, because of this very notion. Because we are love. We are creation. This is who we are. Today's video is about execution. I've been talking a lot about strategy and a lot about action and a lot about winning formulas and all these different things the last few videos. But today's video, this video here and now, is about flawless execution. Once you have your strategy, purpose-led strategy in place, you need to have an execution delivery system. It needs to come together. It needs to happen. And there is a sequence of events that must take place in order for that execution to be flawless, to happen. Through what? Your free will. How? Daily action. Purposeful daily action. Just like the heartbeat, it never stops pumping. It never stops beating. Why should we stop loving? Why should we stop taking action? We live to love. And we create with our love. This is just the way it is. This is why we're infinite creators. We're infinite love. Spherical light beings, this is who we are. The human heartbeat generates this electromagnetic field, making us electrical, spherical light beings. This is who we are. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart. As usual with all my videos, you can refer to the visual that I'm referring to on the website's repository, y.how/execution. That's y.how/execution. So let's start. Think about it as a flow chart, cascading downward, just like an avalanche, some sort of effect, that a trigger effect, domino effect, snowball effect, whatever you want to call it, cascade effect. Everything that has a tree logic to it, a flow to it, flow chart, whatever you want to refer to it, think of it in that way. It flows like a river to an end state. It has a destination, just the way it is. That is a flawless execution. You should always have the end in mind, the vision, the when and where, so you can actually make it happen. This is why this execution is flawless, because you have the whole process together, end to end, from the beginning to the end, happening at the same time together, all at once. It all comes together here and now at once. This is why it's flawless, because all the pieces are together at once. They come together at once, purposefully. So let's start at the very top. The very top is who. Who's who? You, me, who am I, who are you? Identity and true self. Always starts with you, with me, with us. If it's a collective effort, shared purpose, common purpose, us. Who? Us, coming together. Who? Me. Who? You. It's just the way it is. Starts with us at the top. Think of it as the organizing agent, which is the case, the human heartbeat, the individual, us, the creator, taking the action. This is just the way it is. So then it moves into the second level of flow. This level of action is like a trigger mechanism. It's a trigger ability. Who triggers what? Why? Who triggers why? And what's why? Our purpose, the reason why I exist, the reason why you exist, the reason why we exist collectively, as a group, as a team. Doesn't really matter. Shared purpose, common purpose, just purpose. Whatever, no matter the scale, ultimate purpose, transcendent purpose, manifested purpose. Think about it just as what it is the execution of it all happening simultaneously at once. So the creator, the individual, actioning this trigger through purpose. Who triggers why? Identity and true self leads to purpose. Identity and true self aligned with purpose. Purpose aligned with identity and true self. These go hand in hand. Starts with who, and then it goes down into this flow, this sequence. Why? Purpose, purpose, purpose. Why? The infinite nature of why, insatiable why. This is just the way it is. It proves infinity in a logical way that we can all think about and refer to. Why? So, then what? How? Why triggers how? That's the natural flow. Who triggers why? Why triggers how? Hence, why how? This self-correcting mechanism, the calibration mechanism, the redirecting, the recalibration mechanism of our compass, each of us have one. This is why it's so important, because why and how come together to make sure that you are always on course. You self-direct if it required. So why? Because you're always asking why. Why am I doing this? Why am I taking this action? Who am I? Why? Why is this my purpose? Why am I using my energy this way? Why am I using my time this way? Why is my why how this way or that way? And why is my flow this way? Why is my true north this way? And why is my destination the way it is? Or why am I headed there in the first place? So all these whys are backed by action. How? Why how? So the how makes that why relevant. It adds value to it. It adds weight to it, so you can actually have a calibrated compass, a calibrated mechanism. So who triggers why triggers how. This is the sequence of events. Perfect execution. As you can see, it all happens simultaneously because your identity and true self are one. You, human heartbeat, the individual. Why is your purpose, which is part of you, is aligned with your identity and true self. My purpose is with me always. And then the action happening in alignment with your time and your energy, with your why, your purpose, and your identity and true self. It's all happening simultaneously. I take action now with about my purpose, purposeful daily action, but I'm who's me taking the action. So it's all together. The execution happens together. The sequence is a trigger effect that happens all at once. And what does that do? How are we what? Well, we're whatting. What? What are we doing? How are we doing it? The action, the what. What is it that we're doing? The task itself, the objective, the target, the mission, the goal. You name it the way you want to name it. The dream, the wish, the desire, the imagination, the creativity, the creation, the craft, the art, whatever that you do, the what. It happens with the action that you're taking. What could be as simple as, I refer always back to this idea of writing. What are you doing? I'm writing. How are you writing? With my hands. Or what are you writing? A book. How? With my hands, with my thoughts together. Writing sentences, putting them together. How? Using this method, this system. Free association, blah, 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 or whatever. So it doesn't matter. They all come together. And why are you doing it? Because I am taking purposeful action to write my book, to write this article, to write this essay, to do this paper for uni or this subject for any. Doesn't really matter. You get the idea. And who's doing it? The individual. So it's all happening together at once, coming together as one. All happens together. And this can be applied across the board, no matter what, across the board. You can apply it for any what. It needs a how, a why, and a who. Always. So it's just the way it is. So, but when you do a what, you always need a when. It's happening at a specific timeline, specific timestamp, a specific moment, right? Because we all have this relative thinking about time and what it means, the relativity of it. So we time things. And what's time? Well, you choose the time. Here and now could be the option. Best option is always here and now. Taking action here and now is always the best you can do. Always. The best action is the one that you take here and now. Always. But if you cannot do it right now and here in this moment, then you can schedule it to a later time or a specific time of the day when you're available and free to do so. So that's when. The when. When you do your what and how you go about your what and why you do what you do and who does it. It all's happening together. You play football very well. When? On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. How do you play? Well, I'm a defender. Play this position. I'm left-footed. I like playing this way. Why? Because I love sport. It helps me. It's exercise. Who? Well, me. My team. So you get the idea. It's all happening together. This is why it's flawless execution. It's all combined. Who triggers why triggers how triggers what triggers when, which comes hand in hand with where. Where always comes with when. They all come together. They come hand in hand. They always together. There is no when without a where. A when always has a where. Always. When and where, they come together. And the where is a location. If it's a physical location or a digital location, it doesn't really matter. It's a location nonetheless. And a location determines the destination, determines the point of origin, determines the point of, in time where it's happening. It gives it a geolocation. It gives it a coordinate. It gives it telemetry. Can be read and understood at a higher level, at a meta level, and all sorts of level. Specific is precise. It's a full circle. It comes together. Who triggers why triggers how triggers what triggers when, and when triggers where. So you play football where? At the local club. When? Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And what do? Well, I play football, I play sport. How? Well, I'm a defender. I'm a left-footed defender, and I play this way and that way, and I like this and that, and this is how I relate, and these are the ways I go about it. And why do you do it? Because I love sport, I love football, and enjoy being with my mates. And who doesn't? Me and my team, and we do it all the time because we love it. So you see, all's happening together. Same with the example of the book. Well, where do you write? Well, I write at home. When? Whenever I choose to, whenever I'm available. What do you do? Well, I'm writing this book. And how do you do it? Well, I write in certain manners. I have my methods, and this is the way I go about it. This is how the actions that I take. My principles and how I do it. These are the actions I take when I write. And why do you do it? Because I want to write a book. I love sharing knowledge with people. And who doesn't? Me, my identity, my true self. So you see, it's all happening together, but this is the full sequence. So this is why it's flawless, because it's all combined together. Each value has a role to play, and they all come together and fit purposely. They all have a purpose. They all have a role to play, and a sequence and an order. Sequence all matters. Sequence matter. This is why it's execution. There is an order, a flow chart, a trigger mechanism, stack of triggers happening at the right sequence, logical sequencing, so it becomes a flawless execution. And you can obviously apply this to anything that you do in life. No matter what you do, this is applicable to anything that you pursue, any dreams, any wishes, any desires, anything that you do in life, no matter what it is, objectives, targets, doesn't really matter, goals, missions, visions that you have, your imagination, your craft, your art, whatever is your heart telling you, your heartbeat, remember your love, what you put behind your passions, whatever your heart's telling you to do, your identity, your true self, your purpose, go for it. Now you have the delivery mechanism, you have the delivery system to make sure that you get to your destination, your when and where, through action. Remember, we're infinite, we're compasses, this is who we are. The first primary element of compass, and let me start with this. We compass, we shatter illusions and render fantasies obsolete. This is what we do, this is who we are, it's our nature, we're electrical, we shatter. We're electrical, heartbeat proof so, electromagnetism, spherical light beings, this is who we are, we shatter things that do not work for us anymore. We manifest free will with our actions, our heartbeat proves that we're alive to live and to love. We live to love. And we love by creating. So obviously they all come together in our compass. And what is this? Very simple, identity and true self. Who? Very simple. Then second primary element, purpose. Why? Then who triggers why? Identity and true self leads to purpose. Identity and true self align with purpose. Purpose align with identity and true self. They all come together. To a third primary element, time and energy. How you go about things. All right? How you manage yourself, how you manage your time, how you manage your energy. The actions that you take, how you take them, when you take them, where you take them. Why? Blah, blah, blah. Time and energy is very important. We're energy. Remember, we're electrical. And we experience moments in the way of time. So we have to use those sequences accordingly. Then, of course, we got the fourth primary element, which is action. How? Actions, 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 daily action, purposeful daily action. So because of this very notion that I'm referring to, then what happens? Very simple. You take action that is in alignment with your identity and true self and your purpose, and the useful and wise management of your time and energy. So the powerful effects and impact really takes hold because we're compasses. And then what does that lead us to? To a what? The why, how? Recalibration, the activity, this mechanism that we have. Why, how? Recalibrating us, our compass, to make sure that we always headed towards our destination, always on true north, always taking the right actions, always purposeful, always aligned with our identity and our true self. This is why it's so important. Then the sixth primary element, flow, we're energy, As the flowchart flows, we flow with triggers and events all happening simultaneously. We're infinite energy, we flow. Our actions are the proof. Our feelings, we're feeling great about it. We're happy about what we do. This is how we go about things. This is why we flow. Let's go. Let's continue. It feels good. It's the right thing to do. Your heart is behind it. Your actions are loving. You're heartful. Get after it. Then we got the seventh primary element, which is true north. Then again, where? True north. Where? When? You're headed there with your actions, with your flow. It's all connected, you see? And then you go to the eighth primary element, destination. They all come together, all the pieces, for an infinite cycle, full circle. It never ends because we're infinite creators. Always going to have an identity to choose. We're always going to have a true self to have. We're always going to have time and energy in our hands. We're always going to have a purpose. We choose the number of purpose that we want. We always going to take action. And then the why how helps us get there. And then we flow through our actions all the time. We're energy. Then the true north is clear. We're always going to have a true north. And the destinations are of our choice. Dreams, imagination, creativity, ingenuity, innovation, technology, art, craft, sport, you name it. Create, do what you ought to do. This is a flawless execution. Who triggers why triggers how triggers what triggers when, and when triggers where. They all come together as a compass. Flawless execution. This is a very powerful principle, and you can apply these to all walks of life. No matter who you are, we're all compass. We're all infinite. We're all eternal creators. This is who we are. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might.